What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. Let me share this real quick on. I don't know why my lighting. There we go. Let me share this real quick on Twitter to make sure it gets there. Hey. There we go. I won't start until I won't start on the big Braves stuff until some people get in here, but we got a little bit of more movement today. I think everybody's waiting on the Shohei Ohtani thing to drop wherever he goes. To maybe get the market going of sorts. There we go. So if you believe any of the reports, the Blue Jays are a serious player. The Cubs are out. The Dodgers may have really screwed themselves with the potential to get Shohei Ohtani, because the one thing he wanted was no GM to talk about meetings or anything of that nature, and Dave Roberts did, and the Dodgers GM was surprised, so I'm sure that didn't help. So who knows there. Okay, I guess I can jump into the Braves of it all. What's up, Joseph? We have been linked. Seth Lugo, Yamamoto is expected to get like $300 million, so that may take us out of that. Dylan Cease is obviously still a thing. Seth Lugo would be nice, but I think the Red Sox have intensified their efforts to sign Seth Lugo. Eric Fetty just signed 2 years, $15 million with the Chicago White Sox, and that'll just tell you how expensive starting pitching is, and it continually makes the Charlie Morton deal look better and better, because starting pitching is cost you a right arm and a leg. It always does, because it's always at a premium, and every time you think you have enough, you need more. So there are reports and speculation that Marco Gonzalez, who we got in the Kelnick trade with the Mariners, will be flipped at some point for something, or we could even keep him because he's a great innings eater. He's a multifaceted type of pitcher in my mind, where he could be your Tonkin. I know he's soft tosser, but he's had 883 innings, 665 strikeouts, 65 and 49 overall record, with just above a 4 ERA, which isn't great, but it's also not terrible. Anything in the threes, you'll definitely take. So I think that's fluid. I would love to say Dylan Cease, but again, like we talked about last week, I love Dylan Cease, and I think it's a perfect fit, but our farm system isn't exactly plush, And I think Dylan Cease has had one consistent year. Tons of strikeouts, and like I said before, sorry I'm repeating myself, but I'm making sure just in case some people weren't in here the last week, that he is a Spencer Strider type, and I think that could help his development. But if we were able to guarantee that we would have more than 2 years of Dylan Cease, I think I would feel much better about that trade. There were rumors that Tyler Glasnow and the Cubs were ramping up trade talks, and Christopher Morel was one of the primary pieces. Again, all of this is speculation, so that's a lot. So I wouldn't expect us to be in on Tyler Glasnow necessarily, and his injury history scares me even more than Dylan Cease. So Blake Snell would be fun, but I think that's, what is he, 31 and probably going to get a 6 or 7 year deal. So you could be experiencing buyer's remorse 2 to 3 years down the line on that one, because we don't necessarily like walk rate, and Blake Snell was just king of tightrope walking in his Cy Young year, and well-deserved Cy Young year, but he just had so many base runners and things of that nature. So I don't think that can continue consistently for consistent success. So that's a little scary. Walk rate is one of the bigger things that Alex Anthopoulos preaches. So there's probably somebody random that we're not even thinking about, because that's usually how it happens for Alex Anthopoulos. Like, I don't know that Eduardo Rodriguez, yes, I would definitely take for sure. I think that would be a good thing to have another left-handed pitcher in the mix there. He's been pretty consistent. Yeah, I think that he's probably your safest, maybe, in consistent production and things of that nature. I know he had some personal issues and some other things the latter part of his time in Detroit, but I think he would be awesome, an awesome add to our rotation if that were to happen. I've been hyping up Seth Lugo, but like I talked about, I think the Red Sox have intensified their efforts for him. So, but I would really love him. Just the amount of great curveballs we have in our rotation already, and the guys coming up through the farm system, I think that would really, really benefit as well. But Eduardo Rodriguez, Seth Lugo, and probably somebody we're not even thinking about, because I don't know if I had Jared Kelenic on my radar at all, especially with Seattle still having 5 years of control. I think that is an amazing, creative way to get your left fielder, and he's still only 24. And I understand that there's been speculation in his goodbye post to Seattle. He didn't necessarily thank the right people or have the best relationship or whatever. I think that the Jared Kelenic maturity, this, that, and the other, I think our clubhouse is going to be perfect for him. And I think that the clubhouse has dealt with a lot of things, and they've done it very, very, very well. and I think he's going to fit perfectly. Plus, he doesn't have to be the guy. He can just be a guy and really, really solid in the outfield. And Kevin Seitzer, Kevin Seitzer is a master. We've seen that of getting full potential out of guys that are good players, but may not necessarily gotten everything. And I'm really excited to see what Chipper, Kevin Seitzer, and the hitting gurus that we have work with Jared Kelenic, and I'm glad that he gets a fresh start and just realizes that, again, just play baseball, have fun, and see what happens. I think that would be the mindset that I would be telling Jared Kelenic, and getting to an organization like this is the best opportunity he's going to have. And I really appreciate the creative way we were able to get it done. I'm going to miss Cole Phillips, flamethrowing relief pitcher. Right-handed pitcher. I don't know necessarily if he could have done both or was set to be a reliever or whatnot. But I'm gonna miss Cole Phillips because he's a flamethrower over 100 miles an hour, and I think he's gonna blossom into something good. But he's also had Tommy John surgery and has had to work back from that, so that's always a thing to think about. So, and the Marco Gonzalez thing, I touched on a little bit. It's been reported that we're likely going to flip him in another type of deal. He's owed $12 million this year, but also he has an opportunity to be a hybrid, nice depth piece, veteran. I know he's a soft toss and lefty, but they're still serviceable. The Evan White thing, I don't know what the heck Seattle was doing with that contract, giving him that contract, but good for the kid. Signing a 6-year, $24 million before he even played a major league game. Because I think he won a Gold Glove once for Seattle or something, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. So it's in there, but he's had a lot of hip issues and just injuries that have derailed his time, and just hasn't been able to develop at all. But it'll be a nice depth piece down in the minors. He's not a free agent through 2026. Maybe he can finally get consistent playing time and just find something, and maybe the Braves can use him in some way or flip him in another deal or something. I would guess they won't keep him around the entire contract if they can avoid it, but we don't have a lot of depth in the minor leagues at all, really. So that can be an interesting situation to follow, because I don't think we have a backup first baseman in the minors currently. Yeah, Chipper will probably say that. I think Kelnick's gonna enjoy the chop house, and I think I've seen some people say this, but Kevin Seitzer is the king of players lowering their hands, so that could be a thing for Kelnick as well. Tyler Matzik being back is going to be nice. But what I like is that he was never necessarily gone. he was always around the guys last year, rehabbing and doing his thing, but sticking around and being an important cog in the clubhouse, despite not being able to help on the field. And now for him to be able to do that feels be back on the field. That feels like it's going to be a very, very important thing. And I'm really excited to see how he bounces back, because Tyler Matzik is one of the best relievers of all time when he's healthy, and we've all seen it. So that's going to be a huge piece if he does come back healthy. If that is true, that the Mariners manipulated his service time, that makes sense that he would be a little perturbed. Obviously, I love the passion of being frustrated, but just don't kick a cooler. Just ask Oscar Enoa that. So I just hope that he just comes in, plays baseball, has fun, and just does his thing, and realizes that he's part of an amazing organization, and just be a guy, not the guy like he's was projected to be for the Mets and the Mariners. And sometimes pressure explodes for some guys. So I think this is a perfect situation for Kelenic, and I'm really excited for that. The draft lottery just happened at about 5:30, and the Guardians got the number 1 pick, but the Braves are at number 24, which is actually pretty good considering the money, taxes, and all that jazz, plus the good records being not in the lottery, plus the Mets paying for their luxury tax penalties and all that stuff. They moved from 9 to 19, so that's unfortunate for them. But getting Waldrop was number 24 last year, so again, 24 has been a good number for us, and I'm really happy that we were able to get a decent draft spot, and I'm really to get kind of a better situation than the Mets is always a fun thing as well. Just making sure that nothing is dropping or anything. Just a report that Ohtani is down to the Dodgers and Blue Jays. Don't know if that's true or not at all. Yeah, and Waldrop, if he doesn't get traded or anything, he'll probably be. He may even end up in. He may break camp with the Braves. Who knows? Depending on how things go. But I'll be glad to see when the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes ends. I've never actually believed that the Braves have been a suitor for Ohtani. I think every team in the league is interested in him, but I never believed the hype that we were. But again, it's not over until it's over, and maybe something crazy happens. I don't know. I doubt it. But I'll be happy for him. I'm very interested to see the contract, and I think it'll help move free agency along a little bit more, because all the big names outside of Sonny Gray and Aaron Nola are still out there, especially the bats. So I think they're waiting to see the market develop in that way. Kirby Yates signed a 1-year deal with the Texas Rangers. Really happy for him to get another deal. He was solid for us. Made me sweat it out like Will Smith, but he did close out the 6th division title for us. So congratulations to Kirby there. Ben Heller signed a minor league deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So those are the bigger things for the Braves. Recently, and again, I think the big thing for the Braves is obviously a starting pitcher. We've talked about that ad nauseum. So that is that. But I've been really happy with what the Braves have done so far, and intrigued at how everything's gonna play out, because I feel like there's probably a couple more names that we're going after that no one knows, because AA is the master of talking for 20 minutes and not really saying anything at all, and then you see a press release of something no one is expecting. Sorry, and that's something I really appreciate. Some other news, division-wise, Joey Wendell and Luis Severino inked deals with the Mets. Severino's 1 year, $13 million. Again, no bad 1-year deals, but every time a starting pitching figure comes out, it is more and more. Charlie Morton's deal looks better and better every day. Luis Severino had a 6.85 ERA, and he's and he got $13 million. It is a reclamation project, and he could feel good with somebody that he knows, former Yankee bench coach Carlos Mendoza. And Severino has been an all-star in the past, so it's not like he can't get that form back. But just maybe a little surprising that he went from one New York team to another. Joey Wendell's always a really good, versatile piece. I don't know exactly how he plays into the Mets necessarily. Gabe Kapler signed as the Marlins assistant GM, so I think Gabe Kapler is kind of perfect for that, because analytically he's perfect. I think he overthinks things when he manages, but I think evaluating players and what the Marlins need, which is a little bit of everything, I think that could be a dark horse thing, even though I think the Marlins screwed Kim Ng. I think Gabe Kapler could be very, very sneaky in that role. The Phillies extended Rob Thompson through 2025. He's been very, very solid for the Philly organization, and you got to tip your cap there. Let's see what else. The Brian Snicker did say today at the winter meetings that the Braves are working through the coaching staff and working through the hiring process of the pieces that we need there. So that's good. Let's see what else. The Mariners are kicking the tires on Cody Bellinger, but I honestly don't see any movement with Bellinger until Shohei Ohtani signs. So I think everything's kind of at a stalemate and slow because Shohei hasn't made a decision yet, and everybody's kind of getting impatient. And I get it. I want it to happen, so maybe the floodgates open a little bit, but it's the kid's livelihood. He's probably gonna live there the rest of his life. And it's gotta be right for him. Gotta be the right situation. And let's be honest, he hasn't won his entire career with the Angels, and that's a travesty. So you kind of have to weigh every factor: family, comfortability, contract, all that jazz. And I've never been the most coveted free agent in probably all of sports, not just baseball. So I don't know how I would react either. So there's that as well. I think possibly trading Marcell Ozuna or Raisel Iglesias, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. But if it does, there's always a purpose to everything, but Bowman keeps harping on that. I don't think you would trade your closer, even though we have a lot of depth. So maybe for a frontline starting pitcher, possibly. But I think that you're adding, but not you're adding via subtraction, and I don't think that's ideal. And Marcell Ozuna, I don't necessarily know that anyone would want to take that on because I don't think he has any other value than as a DH, as a fielder or anything else. So I don't know that you would get the desired return for a guy like that. It would take a lot of the money off the books, which then you could explore different ways there. But I just don't see that happening. I'm sure. I think that's all the topics that I have. I know it's only 30 minutes, but until Shohei Ohtani signs, I think it's still going to be a stalemate of sorts, but I really, really love where the Braves stand and what we've done so far. Actually, we've been the most active team of any team so far. So that's been fun. So thanks, Alex Anthopoulos, for keeping me relatively busy and enjoying the talks and all that stuff. Hopefully next week it'll be longer because we have a lot more to talk about. But really intrigued by the Jared Kelenic ad, number 24 in next year's draft, and all of that stuff. So as always, go Braves, champions forever. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Helps out a lot. Thanks, guys. See you next week.